o'clock, so we're going to get started. I would ask if you don't mind, well, if you do, it doesn't matter. We're going to have prayer and we're going to have a pledge, so please stand and we'll have an invocation and then we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day, a day of opportunity that we can gather to try to help the citizens of Putnam County. Agencies are here, workers are here, people are here that need to hear what you've got and go out and share what we can help our community with. We ask, Father, that this meeting be done in order and decency, Father, and that we learn today. And Father, we thank you for all of our partners for being here. We ask that you bless our meeting. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. All right, this is going to be a great meeting today. This is your meeting. I do want to thank a few people that are here. Robert Munns and Cynthia Miller over here with Congressman DeSantis' office. This was kind of birthed a long time ago by Paula, Miss Agnes, and Miss Mary. Miss Mary could not be here today. But let me kind of go back to 2 years ago when I got appointed. Two things my wife said. Get people in these vacant houses that are sitting out there and fund libraries. Well, every night I go home, my wife says, how you doing on the housing thing? So not very good. We're working on it, but, you know, government moves slow, and it's difficult to navigate through this process sometimes. So today, we're here with everybody that can help and find out how we can make this thing work better. I also want to thank my friend Brian Teeple. Brian, okay, what you don't know is Brian's our Executive Director of the Northeast Florida Regional Planning Council. What does that mean to you? Brian has many counties, 13, 12? 7. Okay, that comprise of the Northeast Florida Planning Council. We just started in that council a affordable housing committee also. So we're not just talking locally, we're talking regionally. And this is important for us to know what other counties are doing. We had our first meeting 2 weeks ago. I learned at that meeting some things that we could be doing in Putnam County. And that's what we're going to learn today. So that's where we're at. I do want to say thank you for everybody to be here. Cynthia, will you do me a favor? Take that microphone around and we'll let everybody introduce themselves real quick. If you don't mind, starting with you. Cynthia, starting with you. Wait, you got to turn it on. Nope, not yet.
It says on.
There you go.
There we go. My name is Cynthia Miller. I work for Congressman Ron DeSantis, his Constituent Services Department. And basically what I do for the congressman is if you're having issues with a federal agency, needing some answers to questions, I can kind of come in, help facilitate that, reach out to them. A lot of the people that you see here today are people that I work with. So we're here to help you if you have questions to navigate, okay?
Cynthia, give it to Robert too real quick. I know Robert doesn't want to speak, but Robert was one of the big ones. If it wasn't for Robert, we would not be here today.
I don't know about that, but hi, I'm Robert Mons. I'm Congressman DeSantis' district director. So I cover all of his territory here in the district and try to do things like this. And when we see a need, we try to jump in and help where we can.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
My name is Brenda Bryant. I work with USDA Rural Development, and we provide services in rural areas such as Putnam County.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Deanna O'Flaherty from St. John's Housing Partnership, and we have programs to help homeowners to stay in their homes, to prevent foreclosure. We also have affordable housing throughout St. John's, Putnam, Clay, and Duval County, and we look forward to speaking to each of you today.
Good morning. My name is Celine from Community Legal Services. I'm a housing counselor, and I am here to talk about the Hardest Hit program. So please stop by.
Hi, I'm Mike Daly with Housing and Urban Development.
And I'm Matthew Stewart with Housing and Urban Development out of Jacksonville. Good morning. I'm Ramika Johnson. I'm with Putnam Habitat for Humanity. We primarily do critical and emergency home repairs for people who already own homes or mobile homes in Putnam County. We do grants up to $1,000. Again, they are critical and emergency repairs, not beautification projects. A lot of people out there with wells and plumbing problems, roof leaks that lead to other problems, so we try to head those off before they become even more critical and emergent. We do have a very new program starting this fall I'm very excited about. It's called the Veterans Villas. We're going to do a veterans habitat on Westover Drive on some property that we already own, and there'll be about 525 square foot villas for veterans and their spouses. So if you know a veteran out there that is in need of a better home, please come over and see me or give us a call at the agency. And we'll get you hooked up with an application and see if we can't get some better housing for them.
Good, thank you. No, Denise.
Good morning. My name is Savannah Sullivan, and I'm here with Denisha Sword, who you're going to hear from in a moment. We are with the Department of Financial Services, the Division of Consumer Services, and we have a lot of information about financial literacy programs that we have available for Floridians. And we also have this really cool financial football. It's a video game that teaches financial literacy skills. So if you're interested in picking one of these up for yourself, for your kids, for your grandkids, they're free. Just stop by. We've got all kinds of information for you.
Good, thank you. Thank you all. I do want to introduce a few other people that I noticed in the room. Back in our back, Mr. Brian Hammonds, would you stand up, and Mike Brown? These are, Mr. Hammonds runs our Planning and Development Department, and Mr. Brown is our planner, correct? So these are the gentlemen that handle what goes on in Putnam County as far as building. Also, I'd like to give, let me kind of do a political statement here. The other county commissioners would love to join you, but we are bound by sunshine law. So unless these meetings are advertised ahead of time, we can't be here because it might be something we vote on. We can't be in the same room together without public notice. So it's not just my show, it's your show, and it's their show. And the Board of County Commissioners are seriously behind affordable housing. So thank your county commissioners when you see them and let them know that. But it's a lot of times we can't be together. And that's a good thing, but it also hinders our conversation at times. I would like to say there's a few candidates in the room, so I'd like to give you time to stand up and introduce yourself, if you will. We'll start with you in the front there, and Mr. Banks, so please. Mr. Banks is running for County Commission. There's some gentlemen over here. Okay.
And also the REC chairman.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. All right. Is there anybody else that's... Oh, Buddy, I'm sorry. How could you miss one?
I'm Buddy Donovan from the County Commission.
Well, thank you. There's also another lady in the back, Yvonne Parrish back there. Yvonne is our public relations / do everything person for the county. So Yvonne helped set all this up and get everything ready for y'all to come in today. So a big thank you to Yvonne Parrish for doing that. All right, we're a little bit ahead of schedule, so we'll start. Mr. Mons, if you want, we can start the presentations. Okay. And why don't you come up and introduce those, okay? You got the agenda? Cindy? Yep.
You have
Oh, you need the agenda? I'm sorry.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to allow each agency to come up here and just do a 5 to 10-minute presentation, overall briefing. Then after everybody does their presentation, we're going to welcome all of you to go visit each of them at their booths. If you have specific questions that you heard during the presentations, you can go see them. They'll be here for about another half hour where you can speak with them individually. Let's bring USDA up here, Brenda Bryant.
Thank you. I appreciate being invited today. I work for probably one of the least well-known agencies in the federal government. Down? Oh, okay. I thought I had a big enough mouth that you could hear me anywhere. Oh, okay. All right. I work for USDA Rural Development. Our agency actually came into being about 80 years ago as the Farmers Home Administration to assist farmers with farm loans and with decent, safe, sanitary housing. So we've been doing this for a long time. The farm portion of our agency split away about 10 years ago, and we became known as Rural Development instead of Farmers Home Administration. But our mission is still the same. We're here to assist rural communities with their needs, whether they be housing. We do community programs like hospitals. We've done many programs in Putnam County, water, sewer services. We do nursing homes. We do just about anything a rural community could need. But my major point here today is to discuss our housing programs. We have one program that assists eligible applicants with the purchase of a home, okay? One of our programs is a direct loan for low-income persons where you would apply to obtain a loan directly from the federal government. These loans are subsidized to make the payment affordable based on your income. You would apply directly to our office, actually directly to me, and then if you're eligible, we will make you a loan to purchase a home. We have a second program that is for moderate income persons where if your income is above the low income limits, you actually apply to a bank to obtain a loan, and in return for the government's guarantee of that loan, the bank will make you a 100% loan. There is no down payment required. So those are the two programs that we have for home purchase. We have an additional program for home repair that is available to persons in very low income. Just to give you an example, in Putnam County, very low income for a four-person household is $24,000 a year. So if your income was less than that, you could possibly qualify for our repair program. We can assist with the repairs to a house or to a mobile home, depending on how much the repairs are. In addition to a 1% loan, which is what we typically do for repairs, we also have a grant program if you're over 62 years of age and cannot afford the payments on a 1% loan, then you can be considered for a grant as long as those repairs are necessary to remove a health or safety issue. Best case scenario is if your budget is such that you can afford the repair loan. For instance, a $5,000 loan, the payments are $25 a month. We have that money immediately available, and we have a lot of it, okay? And we've used a lot of it in Putnam County, but I know there's still a lot of need in Putnam County. So the loan program is the best thing going for the simple reason the grant funds are very limited and there's typically a long wait for them. So if you're in need of repairs and you look at your budget and you see that you could afford, a payment, then definitely get in touch with us. I have cards on the table. If you're interested in either our purchase loan program or repair program, if you'll take one of my cards with you and give me a call, then I will just go over your income, your situation to see if you would fall into the eligibility criteria. And if you do, I'll send you an application. I don't want anybody to have to fill out this application package if there's not a reasonable chance that you would be eligible. So if I can talk to you for a few minutes, find out your income, your situation, I can pretty well know whether you'd qualify or not, and I'll send you an application. So if you would like to take a card, you're welcome to call me. I would ask that if you don't get through, you leave a message with your name and number. I will call you back, but I'm on the phone a lot, so there's a reasonable chance you won't get through if you call me. So please just leave a number and I'll call you back. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Let's invite Housing and Urban Development.
Well, thank you again. I'm Mike Daly. I got to tell you, USDA is the way to go. They are really generous. We don't have as big a footprint as USDA, most of our funds go to municipalities or the state, and then it's dispersed with down payment assistance. Not any actually individual grants. It's nice to hear USDA gets down to the individual level, and I'm assuming all of Putnam County qualifies. What we brought today is a listing of affordable housing that we have in our database, that we have a relationship, usually through a multifamily loan, with folks. We do fund partially the Palatka Housing Authority. You can find them online. And we do have, I think there was 5 HUD homes for sale in Putnam County. And you can go on our database on the web, and if you want to stop by, it shows you the address. And that should, unfortunately for some, but they're foreclosed homes that we put back up for sale. We also, again, just went online to find some other low-income housing projects, and some of them, again, are USDA. And if you stop by the table, we'll try to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Florida hardest hit.
Sorry, I just want to bring up the Florida Hardest Hit website so you can have a picture of what I'm going to be talking about. I'm sorry to scare you. Okay, so the Florida Hardest Hit program has been around for many years, but it's essentially here to help those who have experienced unemployment or underemployment through no fault of their own. It's called the Unemployment Mortgage Assistance Program. Another part of this program consists of, for example, if you have been unemployed and you're being laid off and now you're collecting unemployment, you can apply through the Hardest Hit program website, or you can call the toll-free number where they can connect you with an agency in your area to help you apply for the application. You can only do this online. And what it is, you can get a temporary assistance up to 12 months of mortgage payments and reinstatement assistance up to $18,000, excuse me. There's a combination of a maximum allotment of $42,000 for the Unemployment Mortgage Assistance Program. The hardship and the engagement of the applicant is the major obstacles that we see when processing this application. Unfortunately, it's not meant for everybody, but the advisors like me would help you walk through the process and let you know if you are eligible for the assistance. After that screening process happens, then an underwriter for the Hardest Hit program will be reviewing the application and determine if you're going to be eligible or not. Okay? Then there's also the Mortgage Loan Reinstatement Program. If you temporarily experience a hardship where you had a decrease in income, but now you're getting back to the workforce, or your income has been reestablished, and for a period of time you were not able to make your mortgage payment, you may be eligible for a reinstatement amount up to $25,000. There is also another program, which is the Principal Reduction Program. It's another website, but same program, where if you're not behind on your mortgage payment, but consistently paid your home for 24 months, and your property is underwater by at least 15%, you might be eligible up to $50,000 to help reduce your principal. It's a lot of information, and there's a lot of review process that we have to make sure that you can qualify for or go through the program. So if you need more information, please stop by my table, and I'll be glad to help you screen should you go through this process or not, because it's a lot of document gathering that you're going to need to go through. But I'm willingly here to spend that time with you. If not, we can schedule a phone counseling so that I can assist you. Well, it is funds that we receive through the big, the AG grant, the Attorney General's grant, and there was TARP funds. So those TARP funds were allocated also in Florida, where we unfortunately made it to, I believe, number 1 or number 2 nationwide. And so these are funds that are here to help the foreclosure crisis. After the foreclosure crisis, were attempts made through the state to help those homeowners who were struggling due to the economy to try to get back and at least try to save their homes. Thank you.
Putnam County Habitat for Humanity.
Okay. Give me just a minute here to get this up. Let me get to it here. Okay, here we go. Okay. As she said, I'm Ramika Johnson. I'm with Putnam Habitat for Humanity. The mission of Habitat is to put God's love into action by bringing people together to build homes, community, and hopes. These are our mission principles. We are a Christian-based organization. However, we don't require that the people that we serve be religious or have any specific religious affiliation. It's just kind of that brotherly love thing that you try to help your neighbor. Our vision is that Habitat for Humanity's vision is a world where everyone has a decent place to live. As I said, we are Christian-based, but we don't prophesize or try to bring anybody to Jesus or put a specific religion on them. The Habitat model, how it works, Habitat offers a hand up, not a handout. We build homes and sell them to qualified families at no profit. We have a 0% interest rate on the homes that we've built to make it more affordable. We also spread it out for 25 to 30 years to make it more affordable. And we use volunteer labor, which also reduces the cost of the build. Each homeowner that gets a Habitat home is required to provide sweat equity. That's 200 hours of physical labor, either helping build the home that they're going to move in or help another family with the home. We do require a second mortgage. Not that we ever collect on it, but that's just a security for us so that the homeowner doesn't go out and get a second mortgage and have it, mortgaged out beyond what its value is. We always forgive the second mortgage once the first is paid. We were founded in Putnam County in 1991, and we've built 47 homes in Putnam County since inception. One was funded through the USDA program, and 43 homes were built after 2001. Several years ago, our focus kind of shifted from building new homes to the home repair program that I spoke to earlier. There were a lot of different factors. Mainly, I think the biggest one was the recession, and it was just getting where it was costing us more to build them than we could mortgage them for. Once they appraised it, it was actually lower than what our costs were. So they shifted to home repairs. We know that there are a lot of families in Putnam County that are living in housing that needs critical and emergency repairs, leaky roofs, plumbing, septic issues, and not only homes but mobile homes. We have a lot of retirees that are in very decrepit older mobile homes that need a lot of help. So that was when the Putnam Service Project came to be, and as I said, that is our focus now. We also last year did a build under a program called New Homes for Old Homeowners. This is a program for families that are 65 and older. They have a mobile home that is beyond repair. So we actually built them a brand new home and removed the decrepit trailer. They only have to make escrow payments because instead of the sweat equity, they were not physically able to do that. So the property was actually their equity. So they only make escrow payments during the terms of both of their lives, and then once they both pass away, the home comes back to us, and that's a way for us to help another family. Funding, as I said, we have 0% interest rates. We do hold the mortgage. I'm sure a lot of you have seen our recycling bins, our clothes bins that are throughout the community. They're white and they have our logo on it. That also helps fund our repair program. That is a revenue stream for us. So I always encourage people, if you have clothes that you're no longer using, you can't wear anymore, please put them into our drop boxes, because that does help fund our repair program. These are some of our funding sources, our mortgage revenue. We get lots of private grants and donations from the community. Our CCTCP program, which is a way for us to leverage money through taxes that businesses pay, and resale of donated property. We had a very successful land auction this past year. Throughout the years, lots of people have donated property to Habitat. They're not sites that we would consider a build for, but we do use those proceeds from the sales to buy either a property that's more suitable or to help with homes or repairs. Who's involved? Everybody. Funders, volunteers, experts, our board and staff. We rally a lot of people who care about the future of the organization and, of course, housing for Putnam County. Traditional builds, I think, are very important to our history and mission. They connect our community to our mission. We garner support from the community. It helps keep our assets flowing. And we do have some plans for some future developments. As I mentioned before, our veterans villas that will be going in on Westover Drive. Our first build will start this fall, and then we still have 4 lots out in Interlochen on Melrose Ave where we will be building traditional homes. The next one will start in January 2017, and we hope to fully develop these 2 properties throughout the next 5 years. Some of our programs, the Putnam Service Project we talked about, that's a home repair program. We also have a separate pot of money that is just specific for veterans repairs. So sometimes we can meld the 2 pots and get them a little bit more money-wise in repairs with the 2 funding streams. That this particular program is funded through the F.V. Oliver Fund at the Northeast Florida Community Foundation in Jacksonville. We also provide handicap ramps, so if you know of anyone out there that's in need of a handicap ramp, we partner with the Church of Palaca, and they provide the labor for free, and we provide the materials. We also do an annual fan and heater drive to help the low income and the elderly in the hot months and the cold months. Habitat Assist is a program that we do just in general for community or churches, nonprofits. We extend our discount at Lowe's. We get anywhere between 10 and 22% discount on materials. So if you're a church or a nonprofit trying to do a repair or something like that, we will extend that discount to you. And then again, the clothing and shoe repair program or recycle program are white bins but we have about 24 of them throughout Putnam County, and those do help generate funds for our projects. The Veterans Village I talked a little bit about. This is what we have in mind. It will be about 512 square foot. It's a one-bedroom mini version of the Habitat House, and it will be for veterans and their spouses, and they will all be built on Westover Drive, where we are currently located. So if you know of anyone, this is kind of just the property layout. This is showing the back lot where the green area is where the veterans build will go. So if you know of anybody, a veteran that is in need of housing, please direct them our way. These are our personal visions and goals. A new office facility. We've recently purchased a new office at Krill Avenue, 2501. It's right across the street next to the Mexican restaurant. You may have saw our banners hanging there. We hope to be moved there fairly soon. Liquidate our property and our liabilities. We have done that and had a very successful land auction sale, which was gave us the ability to purchase the new office as well as start on the veterans builds. And our first Veterans Village will start this fall, and again our new build will start in Interlochen after January, and we hope to fully develop those two properties in 3 to 5 years. So that's pretty much the end of my presentation. That's kind of Habitat in a nutshell, primarily the home repair program for people who already own homes or mobile homes, and of course our Veterans Village that's coming up this fall. So if we can assist you with any of those, please give us a call, ramps, anything. All right.
Is this your zip drive? Oh, you got it? Okay. Gotcha. Okay. We have Florida Department of Financial Services.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you all for having us. My name is Denisha Sward from the Florida Department of Financial Services and representing Chief Financial Officer Jeff Atwater. And as Savannah shared with you, we provide financial literacy throughout the state of Florida. So here today, we want to discuss financially preparing to purchase your home. So there are two major steps to financially preparing to purchase your home, and those include credit and savings. And so those are the two that we'll focus on today. Credit is what I'll cover is credit report, your credit score, and ways to improve your credit. And then as far as saving, I will cover expenses related to purchasing a home. I will cover making a spending plan or a budget, and then lastly, ways to increase your savings. As far as your credit report, that is plays a very big role in purchasing your home and how lenders see you as a consumer. It allows the lenders to see, okay, does this person pay their loans back and other forms of credit? Can I trust this person with any lines of credit that I will offer as a lender? So your credit report serves as your financial profile. It includes all of your information as far as your credit lines that you have open in your name. Your credit report is housed by 3 credit reporting bureaus, and those are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And the credit report, it includes information such as how promptly you've paid off your credit or loans in the past, if you paid your bills on time, your total outstanding debts, how much available credit you have, the number of recently opened accounts, and then also the length of your credit history. So how long have you had credit open in your name? The credit report is what is used to calculate your credit score. And you may also have heard this called a FICO score. And so this is what the lenders use to determine, again, how well you've paid off credit in the past and how risky you are as a consumer. So the FICO scores, they range from 300 to 850. The higher your credit score, the better your chances of getting a loan, and also the lower the interest rate. And of course, the lower the interest rate, that includes, that drives how much your monthly payment will be on a home. Okay. The graph that we have here shows the percentage of the various parts of your credit report and how those factor into your credit score. So if you look, you'll see that amount owed and your payment history, those make up the biggest part of calculating your credit score. So that means if you have outstanding debt that you're trying to pay down, you want to focus on that to ensure that your amount owed and your payment history, you have good figures in those areas. And so we know that paying down debt can sometimes be a huge challenge. Sometimes it's just, making ends meet. But if at all possible, try to pay down as much debt as you can. And one way to do that is to start by creating a monthly budget or a spending plan. And you'll be able to see where all of your expenses are. You can write down your monthly income. You can go by, write down your fixed expenses, which those are the ones that do not change every month. So your rent remains the same every month and other expenses that do not change. And then you can also write down your flexible expenses. And those are the ones that may change a little bit. Sometimes your utility bill, for instance, entertainment, other forms of expenses that could potentially change over the month. And so once you write down all of those expenses, you'll be surprised at how much you are spending on certain areas, and then that would allow you to adjust your budget so that you aren't spending as much and that you can pay down other forms of debt. And so we do have some of those sample budget worksheets at our table. So if you would stop by and get one of those, a couple of those if you like, and you can fill those out to determine where you can start saving and paying down debt. Some other tips to improve your credit are to review your credit report for accuracy. So you would be surprised the number of people who find mistakes on their credit report. There could be someone who's opened lines of credit in your name that you're not aware of. There could be postings that are showing that you have not paid down an account when actuality you have. So you want to review that credit report just to make sure it's accurate and you have approved and authorized all those lines of credit listed under your name. And so you can do that by visiting annualcreditreport.com, and we have that on a resource page at our table, so just pick that up and it has the website and the phone number there. So you want to check your credit report, and it is free to do so. Another tip to improve your credit is to beware of fast fixes. So you may see signs or advertisements for persons who try to fix your credit. Well, it's illegal and it's impossible to fix any credit report that has accurate listings. So for instance, if you have foreclosures or repossessions and those type things on your credit report, no one can remove those from your credit report. Those stay on for a certain number of years and then they will be removed automatically, legally. So do not pay anyone to remove anything from your credit report. That is illegal, and it's impossible, actually. Okay. Another tip to improve your credit is to complete your credit applications carefully and accurately, and also don't apply for lines of credit unless it's absolutely necessary. Each time you apply for a line of credit, it does bring your credit score down at least a point or so. And so it sounds like a little bit, but those points can surely add up. So you want to make sure that you are not applying for lines of credit unless it's absolutely necessary. Another tip is to use your credit cards responsibly. So try not to put anything on your credit card unless it's absolutely necessary. Those interest rates, it can add up on those purchases, and you could pay double as to what the purchase amount was because you put it on a credit card. Also, attempt to pay your credit card balance in full each month. If at all possible, try not to put anything on your credit card that you cannot pay in full the next month. That will decrease the chance that you'll have to pay interest on that particular credit card. Also, contact your lenders to see, before the bills are due, to develop a payment plan. We know we all hit hard times, and it can sometimes be difficult to pay a credit card bill. A lot of times, if you interact with the credit card company before the bill is due and say, hey, I'm just having trouble paying my bill, I like to set up a payment plan. A lot of times they will allow you to do so without it impacting your credit. Also, make sure the lenders are aware of your new address. So you don't want any bills going to your old address and then you're not aware of the bill, you don't know how much you owe, you forget to pay it, and then that could result in bad credit. So you want to make sure if you move, when you purchase your new home, that you let the lenders know your new address. And then lastly, report any lost or stolen credit cards immediately, because we know we do have those persons who will pick up a credit card that they find and use it, and that can be fraudulent purchases on your account, which could impact your credit. So now that we have discussed credit, we'll move on to saving. Saving is a big part of purchasing your home because there are lots of expenses involved in purchasing a home. So some of those expenses are a good faith deposit. And so this is the deposit you put down on your home to show that you are interested in the home. And so you want to make sure that you have enough money to allow you to put down on that home to show your interest. Also, utility, cable, and internet fees. So this is something that we may not think about that often. So do you need to pay a fee to transfer your utilities or a deposit to open up a utility account in your name? Cable bills, any of those things, those are fees that you must think about because when you first purchase your home, you want to have everything set up, and there could potentially be fees associated with that. Another expense to keep in mind are property taxes. So there are property taxes on your homes, which could be included in your monthly payment, or it may be due once a year. So you want to make sure you have enough money to cover your property taxes, however those are going to be outlined in your loan. Homeowners insurance, again, is something to think about because lenders require that you have homeowners insurance. That could be included in your monthly payment, or you could pay for it separately. But it is an additional expense that's aside from the down payment and the purchase price of the home. Homeowners and condo fees or dues. So if you're going to live in an area that has an association or some kind of organization related to the area that you live in, there could potentially be dues or fees associated with living in that area. And then lastly, closing costs. So closing costs on a home, those include many things. They cover appraisal fees, title insurance, and other factors related to purchasing homes. So you want to make sure that you have enough money, if need be, for any closing costs. So here are some tips to increase your savings to cover all those expenses I just went over. One of the tips is to make saving a priority. Again, as I discussed, if you go through that budget worksheet, you'll be surprised the areas that you can cut back on, and you can make a concerted effort to say, I'm going to cut back on that area. Let me save the money that I was spending, for instance, on entertainment. You can cut back in that area to make saving a priority. With that, you can set a timeline to reach your goal. In this case, it would be to purchase your home. What's your timeline? When do you want to purchase your home? When do you want to be in your home? And how much savings do you need to accomplish that goal? Also, set a schedule by dividing the total goal amount by the number of weeks or months or the pay periods to determine how much you need to save. And then lastly, be vigilant by treating your savings account just like any other must-pay expense. So any of your rent, your credit cards, treat savings the same way. Set a certain amount that you are going to put in your savings every single month. Another tip to increase your savings is to find money to save. And again, it goes back to budgeting and your spending plans, and just see where you can cut back, where you can allow money to go towards your savings. You may also be able to lower your bills, cutting back on, say, some of your cell phone features or some of your cable features. You may not need all those premium channels. You may be able to cut back and put that in your savings. Also, you can keep track of everything you spend for the month and make purchases with cash. Cash allows you not to make all those impulse buys that you may use while swiping your credit card. If you have the cash and have to physically count it out, you think about that a little bit more. So try to make purchases with cash. And then also pack a lunch or cook dinner instead of eating out. That saves a lot of money. It saves a lot of money. You would be surprised if you look through all of your expenses and how much you spend on fast food or restaurants. And then lastly, for savings, speak with your financial institution to see if there are any other accounts that you may be eligible for, because there are some savings accounts that have higher interest rates, which could increase your savings based off those accounts. So again, I've shared with you credit and savings and the importance those two have in purchasing your home. And we have several resources at the Florida Department of Financial Services to assist with any of your financial education needs. Again, if you stop by at our table, we'll be glad to speak with you. Make sure you pick up those budget worksheets and the resource page that has all of those resources we discussed during the presentation. Are there any questions? Any questions? None? Okay, that means I did a good job. Okay, thank you guys so much for having us.
All right, what we're going to do now is a little different from our agenda. We're really ahead of schedule, so we're doing well. I want to invite you up. Okay, this is your meeting. So if there's something that you want to talk about or something that you need that you didn't hear about, if you have a need, heard of a need, something in that nature, we can bring the microphone to you or you can come up, because we want to know how Putnam County can better help you and how can this region help you. So that's very important. So please, Paula, I'm going to start with you because the icebreaker is always the hard one. So Ms. Paula will get started.
First, I want to thank everybody for being here. And thanks a lot. And I just want to praise God a lot for this, because this has been a journey that was bestowed into us, and He sent us a guardian angel. We stepped on a lot of toes, got into a lot of trouble, but we survived. We prevailed. And thank you for all the programs that are here. And now we know that we'll get all the right answers. But the necessity in Crescent City, and not just Crescent City, but Interlochen and all the other surrounding areas, there's such a need in homes, home repairs, excuse me, that every day we see people come in and bring us photographs of how they live, photographs of how they're being treated, letters that we get that they've turned in, and we brought them here. And poor Larry, they found out who he is, so he's bombarded all the time with all this. But we're trying to work in areas, not just, to get them homes, but also show them, like we were told about the credit, show them how to work out, how to do your finances, where you can afford these things if you follow through. And we have a calendar that we show everybody. This is the date when you get paid, and this is what you owe, this is how much you pay here and there, and that way it'll get you started on at least the right direction to go and all. And then there's a lot of people that were never aware of any of these programs, and we have struggled so much in Crescent City. We started, thank you, Brenda, so much, with USDA grants. And, we were bombarded by so many people. And then we kind of stopped a little bit because we were trying to work on trying to break the Beacon score down. That's where Ron and everybody else got hold of all these people to try to help us so we can work something else, and then they would direct us in the right direction and all. But with the USDA grants, there was an outpour of people, and then they kind of got upset at us because all of a sudden, they said, well, they're not doing anything. It wasn't that we weren't doing anything, and thank you for your patience. What we were doing was researching. We walked in this blindfolded. We really didn't know, So at the same time, you were walking with us. We were walking with you too because we were learning, and we've learned a lot. And like I said, I praise God that we got a direction for someone to direct us to where we need to be and all. But what we're trying to do now also, and there's just so many avenues out there and so many needs. And a lot of it is like right now what we're working on as landlords. I have photographs of houses where people live. They're living in mold, but they don't want to complain because if they complain, what happens then? They put you out. If you go to code enforcement, they put you out, and you really don't have anywhere to go, And there's also about the taxes, trying to work out things with helping people with their taxes and show them this is how you pay it. This is how, you work on a budget, on how to talk to these people. It never hurts to go up and talk to someone and, find out, is there a possibility that you could work out some kind of arrangement, maybe, payment arrangement or something that we can do, to get us to where we're at. And I see a lot of our people here, and I thank you all so much for being here, for backing us up and having the patience to be with us. But, we're still here for you, but we're learning just like you are. And take advantage of what's here today. And thank you all, and have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Paula. Cynthia has the microphone. So if you'd like to say something, I saw a lot of heads nod about the landlord situation when she mentioned that. But please, if you want to come up here and be filmed, you can. If you want to stay in the back, you won't be filmed, but you'll be on.
It doesn't matter. I have a question because I have been trying for the last 5 years to get some assistance through, this agricultural program. And my question is this: every time you apply for assistance, you're told, okay, I own a mobile home. My last payment was this month, but I don't own the land. They tell me that I cannot qualify for anything because I don't own the land. And what I would like to know is, because I had to take my money and put a roof on my house, $5,000, no loan, and because I did not own the land. We don't live, the units are on the land, but we don't live on the land when it's raining in your house and you need windows and everything. So what I want to know is what you can do to help people that don't own the land get property repair. I'm having to do this. I'm retired. I'm having to do this like in sections. Fix this, fix that. I went to weatherization. They said I couldn't qualify unless I already had the roof. So I put the roof on, and I have not. They haven't gotten there yet. They say, well, it's for seniors and people with children. I won't say age, but I'm going towards 80 years old, and I've been applying for the last 4 or 5 years. So I just like for somebody, whichever area, to let me know.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that question. Would anybody like to try to answer that?
Miss Brenda? Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Our program is available to repair mobile homes. However, you must own the land it's sitting on. That doesn't mean it has to be free and clear. You can owe a mortgage on it. That's not the problem. I can't tell you why Congress set our program up to require that you own the property as well as the mobile home. I can only tell you that they did. So unfortunately, I work with a lot of different agencies, and I don't know of any agency that will assist when you don't own the land and the mobile home.
Is there any way for you to own the land? No. Hang on just a minute. She's going to bring the microphone back.
Well, I had a question. When you purchased, who owns the land?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like an RV park where your mobile home, or kind of like a
Mobile home park.
mobile home park. Okay, so you're renting the land that the home is on? Okay. Okay. I would say let us look into that. If you could come visit me, I'll give you one of my cards, and we can maybe answer that at a later time, because I don't know the answer to that question, but we can maybe look in and find out. Okay?
I think Ramika was.
If you'll give me your name and number, we'll see if Habitat can do something. We do make exceptions sometimes.
There we go.
Okay. Great.
All right. Thank you, Ramika. All right. Is there any other questions? No? All right. If there's no other questions, what we're going to do right now, go to these booths. These people are here serving you today, and go to them with any questions you might have, or if there's somebody you might know that needs help. You got a neighbor, somebody in your church, wherever, your community association. Go to them, talk to them, and then we'll gather back here in just a few minutes. Okay? Thank you.
And please take the information with you. Take all the free information, pass it out to your friends. It's there to be taken.
A lot of people that have come up to me since we started, and they are falling through the cracks. Some programs can help people and some programs can't. I've asked people to email me. If you don't have my business card, I will give those to you. My hopes now is to find out what the problem is, and let's see if we can't address it in a different manner. There's no sense us building a park and telling you what to play with. Our goal now is for you to tell us how we can build this park a little bit better, and that's what we need to be about doing. So if you didn't get the answers you're looking for, if you still have questions, I'm going to lay my cards up here on the corner. I would love for you to email me, and I will email them out to the different agencies and go from there. Is there anybody that has any final questions before you leave the building today? Anything that anybody wants to ask? There was a lady here about housing credit or housing. What did you asked me about? Education on home ownership. Yeah, and we'll get to that. But is there anybody here that has any question that was not addressed? Yes, ma'am. Come on up. Come on up and speak.
Hi. Ooh, that's loud. My name is Tina Gilliard, and I do want to pose a question that I didn't really hear presented or a topic talked on, and I wasn't really sure if this was not the atmosphere for it. But after talking with Larry, all things are open for discussion. And so my question is, I want to say first off that on my journey to home ownership, I think thank God for Brenda, because she helped me some 15, 16 years ago, and you may not remember me, Brenda. You do remember me. And then a few years later, you helped my daughter get into her home. And so I thank God for home ownership becoming a reality for me. But on my journey, on my way to home ownership, I had to rent places. And so I'm experiencing now people who are looking for assistance that will get them their first, last, and deposit to rent a house. And so I was talking with one of the representatives, and he made this statement: not everybody right now in this season in their life is ready for home ownership. But there are so many people out there that need homes to live in. And if they can just get assistance with that first and last and the security deposit, then I think we can see successful people getting in residence down on my end. I live in South Putnam in Crescent City. And so my question is there any organization in here that could help persons get into renting a home by providing assistance with that first and last and security deposit?
collecting information. I need a bag. Collecting information. Hi, yes, I am Blythe Bird, and I am the Executive Director of United Way here in Putnam County. And I wanted to address Ms. Gilliard's question there in terms of an assistance program of rapid rehousing. Then I know of one of the agencies that we fund. We fund Habitat for Humanity, but we also fund Catholic Charities Bureau. And that's a great group. They do have a program. Of course, funding is limited, and we do everything we can to help them in that arena. But they do have a rapid rehousing that does help with first, last payments. So that is a possibility. And if you have any other questions in regards to that, I'd be glad to jump in and research that for you. Talk to my agencies, find out what they can do for you. It's United Way of Putnam County. You can find us at UWPCFL, that stands for United Way, Putnam County, Florida, .org. You can also call me. I do have my cards here. If you'd like one, be glad to pass those out to you. But it's not just about housing, it's also about items that you might need when you do get into your home as well. We do have agencies that help to get you refrigerators and the stoves that you need. So that's also some help that's out there as well. Okay.
Thank you so much. All right. Will you leave some of your cards up here? So if somebody needs you. So I think what we learned today was yes, go right ahead. You want the microphone to come to you? Fine.
I don't really have a question. My name is Leela Hood. I just wanted to say God bless you all and thank you so much for taking your time out to come here today to help us with our concerns. I just have a great feeling that my concern personally is going to get helped, and something that we've really been trying to get some help with for quite a while. And thank you, Mr. Harvey. Thank you, everybody that organized this, and we just really, really appreciate this, and we just wanted you to know how much we do appreciate it. Thank you.
My name is Gregory Hood. That's my wife. I did have a question. Something was brought up during the first part of the meeting where they were referencing landlords who do not make repairs, and the people are afraid to say anything. And then when they do say something, they get put out of their homes. I want to know, because we live in Interlochen, and we have a landlord that lives around, or that has properties around the corner from us. There are 3 in a row within a block from our house. One of them caught on fire because he refused to make repairs to it, and immediately the people were homeless. The other 2 got condemned because once they checked on that one, then they found code violations in all the others, and he's well known for not making repairs. And as soon as someone says something, then he puts them out. And I want to know, is there some agency that can actually put pressure on him in order to clean up his properties so that we don't have people getting put out and being homeless and having to live in squalid conditions because they can't say anything? Yeah, there was a disabled lady that was in a wheelchair that almost burned up in the house before they could get her out, and they had kids there. And they had talked to him about it, but we have watched this same house turn over and over and over. We've lived in our house for 10 years. We've watched that same house turn over at least 15 times in 10 years, and every time it's because the people complained about the repairs not being made. And I want to know, is there some way that we can put pressure on the landlords to be responsible landlords? If you're going to own property and rent to people, their safety and their actual living is in your hands, you know.
They do repairs, or you can be a landlord, and under that program, if your tenant needs repairs done, they can go to them, but the landlord does have to sign a permission
And you can't make people do the right thing. That's what we know. Now, what we can do codes enforcement on them and eventually take over the property, use your tax money to abate the property, but you're in no better shape than. The bottom line is landlords need to be upstanding, and they need to handle their situation. And if they're not willing to do that, there's nothing the county can do to enforce the landlord-tenant relationship. And unfortunately, we can step in with codes, but then that doesn't help anybody at that point. It does help the neighborhood eventually clean up, but it takes a long time. It's a long process, and it's your tax money that's going to clean them up. It'd be nicer for the landlord to go, this is my business and I will do that, but I know some of them don't. Is there any other questions that we have? Yes. Come up here, please, so we can hear you. No, you don't have that big of a mouth. I got a big mouth, but I need to be heard too. Yeah. It's just that we're taping this, and it would be good to have you. So.
I just had a question for the Catholic charities. What do it take to qualify for your program? If you don't work, or if you work, what is the qualifications to be approved through y'all?
And that's a very good question. You can give them a call, and they can give you the rundown. They have a caseworkers here that will help you out, and they're really good. They're an agency of ours that we help to support. So when that question came up, it popped up in my head. You guys don't know about it. You need to know about it. So please give them a call. The card that Mr. Carter just gave you has my telephone number and my email address on there. It is also on our website, all of our member agencies. We have some great ones here. We have Black Christian Service Center that's here in town as well. St. Vincent de Paul is out in Interlochen. South Putnam Christian Service Center is down in Crescent City. We have some great agencies that are out there. My goal, being new to United Way just about a year now, is to get this information out to you guys as best as possible, because there are some options out there for you. But we do have to make sure that you can get in touch with them and know where to go. So please contact me or go to our website, and we'll get you in touch with them so they can give you a rundown of what they can do for you. And the other great thing is, if they can't help you, like me, they will work to find somebody that can help you.
Good. Yes, Ms. Paul, you want to say? Okay, come on. Here, let me move the microphone down.
Y'all need to leave me alone. I'm small, but I'm powerful.
I know that.
I just want to thank each one of the agencies for making this possible. And if a possibility we could do this on a regular basis, it would be so outstanding, because we would then know where we are at, where we stand, and what other steps we can take. But this has been so much help to a lot of these people that were misled by a lot of other agencies and a lot of other people that I used to work for the court system and what you call the street attorneys. And like now, we've got it word of mouth straight from you. And thank you all so much, and God bless you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Paula. Thank you. All right. I guess we're going to be done with your meeting. This isn't going to be the last. As we continue to learn the process and see what other counties can do, are doing to support affordable housing, we're going to keep this going. I would like to see us do this on a quarterly basis in the evening time, possibly, where more people can come. And I would like to eventually see no one in the audience, because everyone was served, is what I'd like to see. So, yes, ma'am. Well, I can't control what the newspaper does. I'm glad you said that. I can't control that. They were notified, and we did buy an ad to support this, and that's basically all we can do. But I would like to say to our vendors, thank you. Some of you all made a long trip to get here. Tallahassee is 3 hours away, one way, and we appreciate it. Ocala area. We appreciate you coming down to Putnam County. Putnam County is a great county. We don't believe we're the lowest in the state. We don't believe that. Our better days are ahead of us, and we can make it happen, and we all are working together. I want to thank our administration for providing the building and supplying all the support that they've done today. Our commissioners really welcome you and thank you for coming also. We're all in this boat together. And if you think that, well, because you sit on the front of the bow and I sit in the back of the boat and the hole's in the back, that I'm going to be wet first, you're right. But you're coming down eventually too. And that's how it's going to work out. We're all in here to help each other. I want to thank Brian. Brian back here is a big asset to this region and this county. And under his leadership up at Northeast Florida Planning Council, Regional Planning Council with the affordable housing, it really opened my eyes about what other counties are doing. That's where we can share knowledge. We gain knowledge, we come back and we share amongst ourselves. So thank you for coming. Robert, we could not have done this without this man in the back in the white shirt, Robert Munn. It just would not have happened. I tell you, I think he got burned out of me texting him, when's this going to happen, when is this going to happen? But, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So today we got greased a little bit. We got to keep it going. Cynthia, thank you also for coming and being a part and picking up. And thank you, everyone, for coming. Vendors, you people, I have provided lunch in the back for you. So don't run out the door. Come on back and stay with us for a minute. Public, we thank you for coming. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye-bye.